I'm a second generation immigrant that from Chile to Norway, grew up there, a very dense environment, lots of caring about other people's opinions. I moved out at a young age to create distance. So I've had the pleasure and freedom to do what I want for 9 years now, tested a lot of shit. And I've come to a place in my life where I want to take my work ethic serious. I want to taste my sense of discipline, and I want to get serious about my personal brand. And you inspire me just by the way that you talk. So my question to you today is, what skills do I have to master to be able to communicate as truthfully as you, but at the same time as kindly, empathetically, and compassionately as you?
That's extremely flattering, my friend. Thank you. I think self-confidence. I just really, you need to, and I think the way you go there, brother, I think you need to, this is a really interesting answer. And just, first of all, you articulate super well. So I think you got a real shot. I think some people just have a natural knack to communicate. Felipe, I think the thing that you need to think about is being comfortable with your shortcomings. I think a part that people don't see enough of me, in me, and don't use it enough are things like me talking about being an atrocious student, me not being a great athlete, me struggling, like me not having fun in my 20s, me not having the financial means, since the family business was my family's, to have to start over. Like, it's the humility and kind of exposing. I think the way you can be empathetic and compassionate, look, there's human traits. Some people are just born with that. However, I have noticed, and I genuinely believe, that people that share their shortcomings are so much better, happier, and capable to navigate the world. And so I think the biggest thing that probably will open you up to that is actually sharing with the world what you suck at. It's why I bring up 8 Mile so often. Yeah. Right, that last scene, I bring it up all the time. I was in the theater. Movie. Yeah, I saw the movie the day it came out. Eminem was at his height. And that last scene struck me in perpetuity because I understood what he was doing, which was, if I shit on myself, you have no leverage. And once I understand that. And then once nobody has leverage, you get happy. And once you get happy, you can share happiness, and compassion and kindness. So I think that's the answer. I also stay in my lane, Felipe. One thing that I'm very proud of is I talk about business and I talk about human characteristics that come natural to me. I don't talk about healthcare. I don't talk about geopolitical. I don't talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I don't talk about, I don't talk about shit I don't know. Yeah. Like, people are like, you come off cocky. I'm like, I come off confident because I talk about shit I don't know. Yeah. I think I resonate to that. I've been posting content for about 5 years now, but it's been on and off. It hasn't been consecutively. And I feel like the way that I communicate has created a hard shell around the way that I speak to others. And it's kind of defending something that I built up in an early young age when I first moved out, read a lot of self-help books, and kind of taught myself how to like myself in a way, right? Of course you did. Yeah. And I wanted to talk about that, right? But it was with an edge, you understand? With a chip, with anger. Yeah. I totally get it. And listen, I'm a chip too. I went through a school system, especially high school, there was an underlining belief that from the system, the school system, even some of my friends' parents, that because I was bad at school, I couldn't win. And that just, that drives me, because I was so woke and thoughtful and understood the system was broke for me. And I see that at a million different places. I think you need to articulate that anger. I think you need to make a piece of content where you're crying about what your mom and dad did, or who, or whatever. I think that will take a lot of heat out of the tone. To your point, I think that, I'm not angry. And so I might be a little Jersey Street. I might be, I'm competitive. I have conviction. But I think your question, and you by talking here, you helped me give you a better answer. I think the difference you're seeing in me and you is I don't have anger. Yeah. And I think the way you get that anger out is by exposing that shadow.
That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried.
You've tried putting it out and flat out saying the truth to the world?
I feel like that's the only thing I do.
So you told everybody that, and you still, it didn't work for you, AKA.
I feel like I got the truth part in. I don't feel like I have the compassionate, empathetic, kindly part in.
Look, there's some real truth to listen, but you also have like great hair, right? And an epic smile, right? So there is a little bit to the DNA game. Like, it's not like when I was 7 or 9, my mom was like, be kind. She was a guidance of kindness, but it was in me. It's not like I read a book at 18 that said kindness is the unlock.
Right.
There is a little bit of a DNA game.
Yeah.
But look.
But isn't that in all of us, in a way?
Yeah, but then our circumstances take over. First we start with DNA points, and then there's moldability of our environment and our parenting and our circumstances. So, that's why everyone's so quite unique. But I think recognizing it, even this conversation, gives me so much uncomfortable optimism, because there's a self-awareness that you're deploying here that many people just don't. There are so many people I know that are just uncomfortably delusional, and the only person they're tricking is themselves.
Yeah.
People see through it. And so, I think
I felt myself being in that box sometimes.
That makes sense. That was your subconscious, and the fact that it's now in your conscious means that now you're in practice mode. Like, these muscles are a lot better than they used to be, but they're not as good as they would have been if I started at 18 instead of 38.
Yeah.
You're so young, you just might be in a very early part of the journey.
Yeah. I'm being impatient. I gotta give myself more time to grow.
Which is amazing, because most times people are impatient for like a thing to like flex, which is like a poison. A car, or a hoodie, or like a vacation or new home. You're being impatient for your ambition to a kinder, happier place. That's fucking. I have admiration for that. I have admiration for you. I just think what I don't want you to do is beat yourself up to yourself about being a bad guy. You need to. The best way to be empathetic is to be empathetic to yourself first.
Thank you.
This
is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I 100% do.
I think, look, I have a ton of shortcomings, but my ability to not judge myself starts the process of me being kind to others.
Yeah.
The reason people are struggling so much out here and everyone's so upset is because we are in the golden era of judgment. Everybody's got a hot take on everybody. And
everybody can share their opinion.
Correct. And unfortunately, social media exposes people. Nobody's been changed by Twitter or Twitch or Instagram. Everyone's been exposed. And so the reason people are struggling with judgment from others, hate or things of that nature, is because they themselves are judging.
That makes sense.
And so, I think that there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Start with yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up. Like, what did we all do? We're the output of our circumstances. And then this is how I got myself to 400 trillion to 1. Like, you could be upset about, who you are. You're not tall enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. But just even realizing that the likelihood of becoming a human is 400 trillion to 1, that whole like you're a miracle like cliche that like a grandma would say is like unbelievably true. Like you get hit by lightning 6 times and win the lotto 4 times, and still that's more common than fucking being alive. And then once you kind of go there, once you sit in that stew for a year, then you're like, fuck it, let's go. Like, fuck it. Like, no matter what my shortcoming is, like, and there's so many, and then look for inspiration from others. You see so many people that are disabled, chronically ill, and are optimistic. And then you see people have nothing but blessings and will always find something that's wrong, because that was their DNA and that was their parenting. That was their environment. And if you're a complainer and you're watching right now, you need to change your circle. You need to start hanging out with people that smoke your bullshit out. You need to become accountable. They're like people that complain think that other people control shit. And there's unbelievable injustice in the world. I mean, there's crazy shit, racism, religious persecution, sexism. But the reality is like, take it, like take that, knowing that, and take your own control and like move out of the country you don't like anymore. Divorce the spouse you don't like anymore. Like quit the job you don't like anymore. Humility, kindness, empathy, patience, these ingredients together leads to happiness.
Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. And I feel like I have created an image of my optimism. I feel like the shell that I've made is to protect me from negativity.
I totally understand. What you need to do is create a world where you can easily take it in and reform it, you know?
Yeah. That makes total sense.
You know, to me, I'm not trying to protect myself from it. I've created a machine that takes it and regurgitates out flowers.
Mm.
Got it?
I love that.
That's why my shit's sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to run away from it because it exists at scale.
Yeah.
I've learned how to take it and reform it and pop it out different. It's why I talk about being, compassionate and kind in the face of anger. It's why I talk about empathy when somebody says, you suck, you're a charlatan, you're a snake oil salesman, you're not good, you're overrated. I go into, man, could you imagine living a life where you're pushing people down on the internet? Wow, that's some pain. Not, oh, I'm sad, maybe I am. I don't fucking believe you. But it also means I don't believe you when people tell me you're the GOAT.
Yeah.
See, once you don't believe them, you have to not believe them both ways. Too many people don't believe they're haters, but love their compliments. Mm-hmm. People's need for compliments here is why they're so hurting. It's why so many attractive people are in such insecure places. They're so accustomed to that positive reinforcement that when they don't get it in the other way, they crumble because their self-worth is from the feedback of the positive reinforcement. When that converts to negative reinforcement, they fold.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for this parenting circumstance. Like, I'm not saying I'm special. This is just how it happened. I'm the reverse. It's why peer pressure didn't exist for me in high school. I'm the reverse. I don't hear you when you say I'm a dick, and I don't hear you when you say I'm the GOAT. And so like it works
because you have your own self-worth established in yourself. You shed your own light on it.
I'm in a cocoon, bro. I'm in a cocoon, and I get.
What's your best advice to be able to achieve that? To be in your own head.
Recognizing it's a possibility.
Knowing it's possible.
Knowing it's possible is a great starting point, and then practice. Practice, like truly going against your own intuitions and muscle memories when somebody's mean to you, instead of going back at them, just like gritting it out and saying, I feel bad, I'm sorry. Like things doing shit that's uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable.
That makes sense to me.
And so
yeah,
I just think that it's practical positivity, right? It's like, why not choose happiness and positivity, but not at the cost of delusion? You can't be with your homies and be like, everything's gonna be okay, and sitting around and doing nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to be practical, like deeply practical, but why not choose positivity? Why not choose optimism? It's why I have such unique hot takes on COVID, right? I've been getting a ton of emails about how much my statement about if COVID started 90 days earlier, Kobe Bryant would be alive. That really fucking hit people, because the Kobe thing hit people, and they know I'm telling the truth. That's the truth. Yeah. If COVID was 100 days earlier, Kobe Bryant would be alive and most likely live for another 60 years. If you look at the traffic accident data around the world, every day, the traffic accidents, and you layer that to what's happened over the last 60 days as the world's been shut down, you can start debating if more lives have been saved.
Yeah.
Now that's the macro. That doesn't make the person that lost their, grandmother because of COVID feel any better. But what that person doesn't know is they might have been the person in the car that got hit. Like
Mhm.
life's complicated. So
Yeah,
why,
it's
nobody's right.
perspective.
Yeah, it's all perspective. So nobody's right. So why not choose happy and optimism?
Yeah.
Why not choose it? Like, why not
Mhm.
choose it? Why not fight to learn how to choose it?